All right. I did say I was going to play you a series of videos, so let me play you another video, Saki Fada. Have you been listening to the narratives around Rufai Oseni?
Yes, I think I've been listening to
about his lack of professionalism, especially the way he handled Reno Omokri.
Yeah, I heard when you guys were saying something about that.
Would you believe that Rufai Oseni, off the back of that fight, has been threatening to end Reno Omokri's life?
I think there was a time they had back and forth, you know.
All right. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. I'll play you two videos now. Watch this.
She called. I think she even called Auntie Pamela.
Because if I want to be dead here,
yes,
take your brother out in less than 3 minutes.
No, there's no need for that because I don't even understand.
Oh, okay. So let me play it one more time.
She called. I think she even called Auntie Pamela.
Because if I want to be dead here,
yes,
take your brother out in less than 3 minutes.
No, there's no need for that because I don't even understand.
Listen to Reno Omokri respond to that. Listen to this. Watch this.
You use lies to campaign or to attack your opponents. As long as you're not using lies, anything can go.
Anything can go, but at what point must we have a situation where anything cannot go and should not go? I mean, just recently you had a threat to your life by, some media personalities over some issues. Somebody caught off air trying to say, you'll be done with. But we cannot have a political environment, either off or inside the media, where anything must go for the sake of the Nigerian people. What are your response? How will you respond to that?
Well, you see, we have to separate issues, and we don't have to compare apples with oranges. You don't have to conflict issues. You see, in that instance, what you're talking about, and I wish you didn't bring it up, but anyway, what you're talking about, you see, that was a journalist, and then that journalist, he's partisan. He's partisan. He supports Peter Obi, Rufai Oseni of Arise Television. So I've been invited to Arise Television to talk about Bola Tinubu's records because I had gone to Chicago personally. I went to Chicago State University personally. I didn't go on the internet. I didn't go through like maybe a phone. I went there physically. I provided video evidence that I went there. And I went there to verify that Bola Tinubu actually attended and graduated from Chicago State University. And then they told me that they gave me documentary evidence. And so when I was interviewed by Arise TV, this journalist lied and he said that a lawyer had subpoenaed Chicago State University and Chicago State University had denied record of Tinubu. And I told him, first and foremost, what you're saying is not true. I went to Chicago State University. I am not a supporter of Bola Tinubu. I went to Chicago State University. I went to the court in Chicago. I was able to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that Bola Tinubu is a drug lord. However, I'm not going to impugn and slander him by saying he did not attend a school that he did. And so the journalist was very upset with me, said some things. And I was in Peru when I was interviewed. So by the time I got back home to my house, I brought the documents that Chicago State University had given me, and I scanned it, I showed it on social media. I also gave the phone number of Chicago State University, as well as their email address, the email address of the registrar. And so this journalist, I think he was embarrassed. He did a video insulting me, which was very unprofessional. He stopped insulting me. He said my white beards were full of lies. He said all manner of things against me. So the next day, I called the proprietor of Arise TV, Mr. Onduka Obaibena, and I told him, I said, look, these are the evidence. This is what I got from Chicago State University. This is the video evidence of your journalist, Rufai Oseni, lying to the public. And I gave him everything. He said, okay, we're going to do an in-house investigation. After they did their in-house investigation, he called me with Rufai Oseni, and then Rufai Oseni apologized to me. And I said, Rufai, I forgive you before God and man. Imagine my surprise. About 2 hours or 3 hours later, Rufai called my brother and began threatening me, threatening to take me out in 3 minutes, threatening to destroy me, asked my brother to warn me because by the time he's finished with me, and he did not know my brother was recording this conversation. And Tunde, you need to listen to the conversation. It's like listening to a mafia don ordering the execution of an enemy. So I mean, he was born chilling. So what I did was I called his proprietor and I said, "This is what your boy has done." I sent him the tapes, and then they told me they were going to handle it in-house. But here's the thing, what Rufai Oseni did is not indicative of what the political class are doing. Right now, I don't want people to say that, things are so toxic. The way I see it right now, this political campaigning period has actually been cleaner than previous ones. You see the candidates, Bola Tinubu, Waziri Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, they're talking about their messages. Their campaign teams, their media people are also talking about their messages. Of recent, I know there's been a clash between the APC, PCC media and Arise Television. However, if you take that aside, this has been a rather, well thought out and well run political campaign period.
Well thought.
So there it is, Saki Father, Rufai Oseni. So I've always insisted that it's not fit for purpose. Now he wants to end somebody's life for proving that Tinubu went to university.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what happened in the space. It is also important to hear from the other person, from the other version.
But sorry, Saki,
Because,
what are you looking
What are
to
you
hear?
what are you?
I don't get it.
What more do you want to hear?
This guy have evidence that the brother recorded the conversation when Oseni called. He told you Oseni called him to apologize with the boss. Then Oseni now called the brother to threaten that he's going to kill the brother because he has just proved to you that I have document that this guy truly went to this place. So I don't know what you need to hear from Oseni to
let me finish
change.
now.
Okay, all right, carry on.
All right.
Yeah.
Go on, Saki.
Yeah. Why I'm saying it is that what do we call him? The fact that Rufai Oseni called him and was threatening him, that conversation is a recorded conversation. I think we have to prove that call was actually from Rufai Oseni.
Do you not know his voice?
This is a full record, so we have to prove that Rufai Oseni actually, because there was a time this guy, what do we call him? This guy that was talking, what's the name again?
Reno Omokri.
Reno Omokri. There was a time he came on Twitter and was like saying that obedience are threatening to take to go against his family, something like that,
Yes, which they were on Twitter.
No. At the end of the day, the account that was chatting him up was investigated, and they found that it is like account from the same opposition that was created, not APC. It was like all this crony account. What do they call it again? That kind of account that was doing those things, So it is very easy to allege, but I think we still have to hear from the other version, Rufai Oseni has to also respond to this, and the proper investigation has to be made to actually be very sure that that kind of threatening call actually came from Rufai, So I think it's not very easy.
Do you think he should be sacked?
If he's found guilty of those kind of offense, he should be sacked. They should sack him if he's found guilty, But I think I should rather focus on the conclusion we're arriving at, that he's being political or being partisan. And then again, we should also focus on the fallacious conclusion that he is supporting Peter Obi, So we should also focus on that very argument. The issue of this call that was recorded, they should investigate further and make sure that that call actually came from Rufai and take necessary actions. I will not be here to conclude that the call came from Rufai or didn't come from Rufai. he has presented his own version of the case.
Do you mean Reno is lying, or what are you trying to insinuate?
I'm not saying this. Reno is a human being. He has lied a lot. I can tell you
Oh,
different lies.
Reno never lied, to the best of my
No,
knowledge.
no, I will tell you one lie he has been lying, even
Okay, tell
against
me.
me. Reno has been writing on Twitter on several occasions that P2B drove out Northerners and was giving them, what do we call it?
No, Peter Obi did that. Civil servants, I can tell you this for a fact.
No. Let me finish.
Hold on. Civil servants in Anambra State Civil Service, they were
Let me finish.
basically
Let me
moved
finish,
out and they had
enigmatic.
to
Let me
relocate them to
finish.
Lagos. This is a fact that I know.
Let me
I
finish, enigmatic. You don't know the facts.
Hold on,
Don't say you
enigmatic.
know the
Let
facts.
him finish. Karen, yeah.
He alleged that P2B drove out Northerners from Anambra State and he was giving them, what do we call it? He was giving them ID cards. That is a blatant lie. You know, that is a lie. 2 days ago, a Northerner was interviewed. I think either yesterday or 2 days ago. A Northerner who was living in Anambra State during the time of P2B was interviewed by the same Arise television. That Northerner doesn't even know how to speak English. On that Arise interview, he was speaking Hausa, and that's they were interpreting it. You understand? That very interview. And the guy, gave what do we call it? Like a witness of what happened during the time of P2B and how P2B saved their lives when there was ethnic clash between Igbos and there was a kind of ethnic clash that happened in Anambra State. How P2B saved their life and even transported most of them to government house to protect them in that very crisis.
So, Saki Father, sorry
Yes.
to cut you short.
Yes.
So, how do we believe that guy is not being paid to come and say that too?
He said what?
And more so, knowing Oseni, Omokri has said all this, accuse him of all these things. The guy he is, Oseni would have come out to come and say, "Oh, I didn't make any call to his brother. I know him. We all know this guy." He would have said something about all this interview Reno had now to say, "Oh, to dispute. Oh, I didn't call his brother. He's lying." He would have said it. This video is over 2 weeks now, if I'm right. He would have come out to refute it. Then you now, if you say something, say, "Oh, how do we believe we didn't hear for the second person? How do we not know that this Hausa guy is being paid to come and say all that?"
And let me finish now. Let me finish.
And you will finish. I'm just interjecting, Abi.
Yes, let me finish.
Oh yeah, carry on, Saki. Yeah, carry on, Saki.
Yeah, why I'm saying what I'm saying is that I know the Anambra space when P2B was governor. I know the Anambra state. So it's just like telling Thomas here that I know your space when Sheyi Makinde was governor. I know the P2B space and I know what happened. I know where Northerners were given ID cards and I can send you the video. It was in Imo State during the time of Okorocha. Okorocha even said it on video. I can send you the video. You listen to Okorocha when he was being interviewed. He was asked, "Why are you giving Northerners ID cards?" He was asked. But another question you have to ask yourself: 2019, P2B was a P2B was a vice presidential candidate to Atiku. These stories never came out in that 2019. Why is it that now he's running for presidency and these stories started coming out? Why didn't they bring these stories in 2019?
Saki Father, this story has been in circulation for a long time. And do you know he actually even demolished mosque? Which one that
No, it never happened. I will tell you what happened.
I'm gonna send you something. Maybe
I will tell you what happened.
So you can
I
probably
will tell you what happened. Listen.
Okay, because they want to push everything to Okorosha now, which is hold on, Saki. Hold on, Saki. I think Enigmatic says he has evidence, so send it in. But carry on, Saki. Okorosha is every time.
It pains me very much when somebody who is not from Anambra State or who has not even lived very well in Anambra State is making a claim.
I'm not making a claim, Saki Father.
Let me tell you what happened. Okay, if you tell me he demolished a mosque, tell me where that very mosque was. If you are very sure of what you're saying.
Continue your story, guy. Continue your story.
I'm trying to tell you with facts now. Mosques were demolished there was a mosque that was demolished. That very mosque was in a place called Sokoto Road in the market. That was a place they had that very mosque. And the mosque was demolished out of, there was a, all these crises that happens between like indigenous and people that are living in the state, So there was a time, there was something that was happening in the north, there was a clash either in Kanu or Sokoto or thereabout, some Easterners were being like, there was a clash that happened there, and buses coming to Anambra State then were bringing like dead bodies in the north, Easterners, and these very things took up ethnic tension in Onitsha. It happened in Onitsha. It happened in Imo. It also happened in what do we call it? In Abia, in Aba. So during this ethnic tension, this kind of riot, the mosque in Onitsha was demolished. Not total demolition anyway. It was affected. All these kind of crises they do. It was not P2B that did it. P2B even addressed that very space and told them that he will rebuild whatever that is damaged in that mosque. And he did that. He rebuilt it for them. It was something that happened out of these normal ethnic tensions that normally happen at times, So it was not from P2B. So how can you come on this space and be saying that P2B demolished mosque? I think we have to be very, 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 very careful with statements we make if we're not sure of what we are saying.
So, Saki Father, when you come here to defend some certain things, you should understand the fact that facts are not subjective to just only one person, or because it's so easy, just like what happened in Akuzu SARS the other time in Anambra State.
I don't know this, right?
Yeah,
continue.
They will try to absolve Peter Obi of all the.
I don't know what happened in Akuzu.
You don't know?
I don't know how it happened.
Let's forget it.
I don't say something I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
But what I'm telling you about this mosque is what I know. It is what I know. What I'm telling you about these outside people being given ID card is also what I know. I can send you a video from Rochas when he was being interviewed, when he started that in Imo State. So this story of P2B was given ID card, I don't know where that story actually came from.
Exactly. Do you promise? You promise you're going to send that video? You're going to send that video to one man. You're going to send that video.
I will send that video
where Okorocha is speaking, talking.
I will send it. Let me find it now.
That's very important. We want to see it.
Yeah, let me find that video and send to you.
Wait. Excuse me. My own take is this: why is it that mosque is now one of the measures to deny people their ticket or their campaign or their whatever, how do I say, their aspiration to become governor or president? This same propaganda, though is a claim or a rumor, but they use it against Wike too. During the time they want to pick Wike, between Wike and Okowa, there was certain calls that got to Atiku from the northern area that said that Wike destroyed mosque in Port Harcourt, and they used that against him. So all this mosque, they've got not destroy a mosque. It's not a big deal.
But what is?
Why is it not a big deal?
What is? Do you know these kind of things shouldn't be news on a very serious note? We shouldn't even take them seriously, right?
Yes, now
you can imagine what obedience we take seriously, but when you try to do them the same thing or probably point the same thing to them, as you are asking this question now, you ask why is it serious? But imagine if you flip the coin now, how would they actually sensationalize this kind of irrelevancies?
Yeah, I understand that what everybody argument. I understand argument, believe me. But what I'm just saying is just that why we have to subject ourselves to as so low that if a mosque is destroyed, we have to pay with a ticket so dear to us or something so dear to us. But in the north, they do more than that, and they don't pay for it. So we are using some certain things that is irrelevant to differential or whatever ourselves. It's not good. It does not make sense. Putting so much effort on what does not make sense or don't hold water, we start building it, build something on nothing. Destroy a mosque is under the governor preview. If the mosque was built wrongly, you can destroy it. If it was illegal form was used to build it, you can destroy it. If the state have developed and evolved that they have to upgrade and have to remove the mosque there, you can destroy it. If you destroy a mosque, then everybody in the north is just being sad and you know.
All right. All right. Back to you, Saki. Round off your thoughts on Rufai's threatening to end Reno's life, and then I want to take you to another topic.
Yeah, they should. If it is truth, they should take every necessary action. I can't support him for threatening people. So that's my point there.
All right, brilliant. So let me now take you to a space.
Can I interject 1 minute?
All right, come in.
One man, you see, if you listen to Omokri, he said Rufai called him and apologized. And after that, he went to threaten his brother. Why must he do that? Could that even happen? Could that even be? I don't know. We have to hear from Rufai before we condemn that guy, because I don't see the reason why you will go and apologize and then you go and vindicate your anger.
Yes. Ajanle Koko, if you look at the sequence of events, then you'll see how that might happen. So Reno went to Chicago to establish Tinubu's credentials, which he then discussed with Rufai, which displaced him, and he went after Reno quite aggressively. Then Reno then went and scanned all of the evidence to prove categorically that this did happen. But then Rufai then went online in his own media space to start to insult Reno Omokri, saying his white beard is full of lies and all of that. So Reno then felt that Rufai crossed the line. He then called the chairman of that Arise space, and that chairman then made Rufai Oseni apologize. So he was miffed that the guy got him twice. So out of that anger, he then phoned Reno Omokri's brother, threatening all manners of everything. But unfortunately and unknowingly for him, Reno's brother was recording that call. So if you follow the sequence of events, then you see how he made that call.
Well, if you listen to that call, we don't know what the Reno brother said to him before he replied in the way he replied. We don't know what really happened. You know. What's that?
Exactly watching football, but carry on.
So what happened before Rufai made that statement was not, we didn't hear the audio. So it was Rufai's response that we had, and we cannot use that to now kill this guy. What was that guy? What did that guy say to him that angered him to reply in such an aggressive manner? That is not.
Is there anything that could have justified that? Is there anything that could have been said that would have justified him saying he would end Reno's life?
Well, I don't. I wish he had said. I wish he shouldn't have said that. I wish he didn't say that rather. But sometimes when somebody says something to you that did not chime well with you, you could respond in angry, you know, in such.
But does this not add
you can respond angrily and you know, say some.
I think what
does this not add to the narrative that this Rufai is saying is too emotional, too much of a hot head? Is this not further proof that it's too much of a hot head?
Yeah, he has to cool it down. That what he said was bad in that audio, but what did that guy say to him that forced him to respond in that manner too? We have to be that should be played to us. We must hear that. So that guy cut that side off. What happened? What led to that statement he
that
made?
It will end Reno in 3 minutes.
I think what
well,
led to
maybe that guy said to him something like that.
No,
we're
sir.
gonna go
I
after
think
you
what
and
might
finish
have
you.
led to that. What might have led to that is because Reno has called
Sorry,
his
can I
boss.
tell you?
Yeah,
hold on. Reno has called his boss to report him and force him to call Reno to apologize.
Yes, that's what irritated him. That's what
I think that's what irritated him.
That's what got him.
Your brother called my boss. Is he trying to get my job? You know, that kind of thing. I think that would have propelled him to call the younger brother if he has connection or has his number or something.
I think we're going to hear.
Do you think he should be sacked? Do you think he should be sacked?
In a sane world, they should sack him for that kind of thing. Even him saying all that, and Reno has called, and Reno has said, "Oh, I forgive you. It's okay." Then he now later went to call the brother. I think that is totally uncalled for. It is totally unnecessary. He has said, "I accept your apology. Just move on." But why are you trying to form the bad guy now, trying to threaten him through his brother? And I think with all this thing, with this interview Reno did, and with that audio, with the kind of person Oseni is, he would have come out to refute it and say something on that the Arise channel again to say it's all lie. I didn't call his brother. He would have said something about it. It's not somebody that will keep quiet. If this kind of thing has come up in his name, he would have said something. That's why I believe this.
And it's not as though it's something hidden. Let me show you where I got the Rufai Oseni clip from. So let me share my screen. This is where I got the Rufai Oseni clip from. Let me just share this. So if you look at where I got the Rufai Oseni clip from, it's from, you can see that's a verified account, and you can see the name, Ben Murray Bruce. So it's Ben Bruce that is actually pushing this. And it says, I would like Mr. Rufai Oseni at Rufai something to listen to his words again and enlighten the rest of us on what he means when he says he can be deadly and take out Reno. So that's what he said.
What date was on that, sir? What date was
this? December the 4th.
He would have responded. I know, saying he wouldn't have kept quiet if Bruce have said something like this on. He would have said something. So that means he did it. And in this situation, the best thing is just to keep quiet and ignore it.
No, they should sack him. Is the best thing. It should be sacked.
No, one man, they don't need to sack him. They don't need to sack him. What I think, whoever knows Rufai should do is, when they say something that Orobobo Lori Alabound, I don't, maybe Baba will help us solve that. And then when two politicians are having issues, do not, like, it's just like a situation between a man.
Like Pharaoh Temi said, don't get into their fight.
Yeah, do not die in their war.
Into their war.
If you look at what is happening between APC and Arise TV News, right? It's a long time crazy war that is between them. So Rufai is a small fry. Even when you look at Abati, you will see Abati's maturity and political fecundity now, how he's been acting. He's acting neutral. But Rufai playing to the audience of one. The audience of the obedience is killing him now. He wants to prove to them that he's their champion on Arise TV. You can't be doing that. He needs to be careful with politicians, because at the end of the day, they will go behind the scene. He will just, I don't know how to. He needs to be careful with his career. He's still very young to be having this kind of issues almost every time. When almost 3 fingers or 4 fingers are pointing at you, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. That what are you doing wrong? You need to be. Reno is not the kind of person you will pick a fight with, and you think he's not. Reno is like you are picking a fight with a prostitute. He will drag you to the mud. He will do everything to neutralize that that your privacy that you seek so much. He needs to be careful. He's a very young guy. They are politicians. I need to stay away from them.
So we are
saying should he be sacked? But the question is, even should he be arrested is more the question. Should this guy be in handcuffs?
One man.
Hello, one man. But if Reno,
One man,
I think Reno
you are bringing a fuck. You bringing a fuck. You are bringing a
no, but if
bazooka.
Reno push the case enigmatic, he's gonna get arrested. I think Reno just want to leave it there. He didn't want to just push further. If Reno push the case, he's gonna get arrested.
Of course, if Reno actually wants to push button or about that case, there are several grounds. There are several grounds to nail that to nail Rufai, and that's what I'm actually saying. He needs to be careful because look, when you look at all these top journalists now in Nigeria, right? Take it or leave it, DOG. We know Nigerian journalism space, right? They have leanings here and there to politicians, to political parties, right? But Rufai himself in 2019, go and check out. This is not a news. It's common knowledge to everybody. Atiku Obi, right? He was rooting for Obi and Atiku in 2019, and in this present electionary cycle, everybody knows that is Obi's.
Of course, 100%, no doubt.
They know themselves. So you can.
And we all know that Abati too is a PDP
Abati
person.
is a part-time member of PDP. But you will see Abati's maturity, the way he carries himself, how to play neutrality, how to play the two sides. But this guy does not do that. And then you already know that you have the eyes of all these politicians watching you. Oba Igbena that you are trying to please or impress. At the end of the day, Oba Igbena is a big boy in the game.
But fine, enigmatic. I know they have to do their job, but in this light, should this really even be happening? Abati is PDP. Rufai is almost likely supporting Obi, but they will come there and be sounding as if they mean well for them. But you are supporting. You have the party. You should be neutral in all of this as a journalist. Even
Do you
if
know
you have.
Tudun even left the group already? Do you know why she left? Tudun Abiola.
No, I didn't know why she left though. I just know I've been saying her.
It's part
of.
I've
noticed. I've not been seeing that. So.
Yeah, it's part of this political, this kind of journal political shenanigans they are playing, because a couple of senior journalists were questioning the rationality or the rationalism behind bringing somebody like Uday to Arise TV to come and pontificate on some certain things about a certain particular candidate, right? And then when the guy actually stated on live television that his candidate is Peter Obi, and when Abati pointedly asked him, this investigative journalism or this investigation you are doing on a certain candidate in the name of Ashwaju, are you going to extend it, right, to other candidates like Atiku? We know Atiku too, or Obi on stuff like that. He said no, that he wouldn't do that. Then Abati further asked him, do you have are you supporting any candidate in this? He said his candidate is Obi. So Abati questioned him that, don't you think Nigeria will be questioning, your quote unquote investigative journalism focusing on only one candidate? If you're actually claiming to be an investigative journalist, right, you should cover all the spectrum of all these political candidates. Why are you picking just only one? So that was it. And then a couple of people said, and then the day he was talking about linking MK Abiola to drug, drug runs and stuff like that, and that actually riled up a lot of Abiola supporters. And Tudun went at this point in time, I think she has had enough of all these their political tangents in Arise TV.
Yeah, and even to add to that, there are several times you can even see if Abati says something on the show, you will see how Rufai is not happy with what he has said, but he wouldn't really want to tackle him on the show, but you will see his response to what Abati has said. Then you can tell, because he knows Abati's PDP and he knows he is supporting Obi, he will try to be countering Abati so bad, and I'll be thinking, you guys are colleagues, and why are you doing this on live TV? Because it's always some glaring sometimes to me, like, so you are against what Abati is saying, but you want Abati to agree to what you are saying, It's quite, I don't know, that guy he's going to put Arise TV, he's going to spoil their reputation, one. Secondly, they need to probably shift him away from that seat and move him to maybe other shows or a talk show or something for some time till maybe after election, then he can come back and join them. It's going to put them in a mess. Because if somebody like Reno had that record and he really wants to push that case, he can sue the Arise TV themselves, then sue the guy and get the guy arrested.
All right, back to Sake. Back to Sake.
Yeah, I
you
can
still,
hear you.
Yeah, no, back to you. You were rounding off your thoughts on the Reno, Omokri, and Rufai space.
Yeah. I said if he is found guilty of as charged, guilty of such things, they should take actions on that. So there is no way I will be here to like sanction what is not right. So if actually he met that cause and was threatening people, they should investigate, and if they find him guilty of that, they should take actions.
All right, brilliant. All right, let me take you to the let me take you to the polls that tell us yet again that Peter Obi is going to emerge the president of Nigeria. So as ever, we've gone through the polls with a fine tooth comb. Did you hear me read it out, and what did you make of it? That poll?
Yeah, I actually saw that poll. I think somebody was sent me the poll, and I went through that. The questions I asked was I didn't was trying to say whether it is expected or not expected. The only thing I was looking at is what is the sample. What is the sample? What is the margin of error? Was it conducted objectively? These are questions we should ask whenever we see polls. I wouldn't either just say that this poll is not correct because it is not in accordance with my expectations, or maybe that this poll is correct because it is in accordance with my expectations.
What if the poll is not consistent with what is already known?
There is nothing like what is already known. There's nothing like what is already known. It's just like research, or experiment. You might in your own assessment, you might be thinking that this is the kind of result you are going to expect in an ideal world, and then when you conduct the experiment or the research, you might be getting something that that makes you that beats your imagination. So I think the right questions to ask is, hey, but this is what I'm expecting. Why is this result giving me this? Those are the right questions to ask, and not to say this result is not correct. I discount it because it doesn't meet my expectations.
No, not meet expectations. Consistency with what is
known.
No,
there is nothing like consistent, because
there is consistency. There are certain things that are known.
No. When I ask you what is consistency, you will tell me that Kwankwaso should win in Northeast. Kwankwaso should win in Northwest, right? These are consistencies to the best of your knowledge, right? It will be very to you, it will be it will look as if it is wrong if P2B is getting a 15% in Northeast, so because to you think maybe it is not, P2B will not make any inroad in the North, So, but what I'm trying to say is that it is very important whenever we see polls, we should focus on the right questions. This is data, This is data. So the questions we should ask: how was this data generated? Who were the participants?
No, okay. Let me give you an example of what I mean by consistency, and then you tell me if you disagree. This result was, however, different in the Northeast, as PDP's presidential candidate Atiku polled more than 38% polled more with 38% respondents choosing him as their preferred candidate, whilst Labour Party LP, APC, and NNPP had 15, 12, and 2% respectively. So we're talking about the Northeast, and you know the composition of the Northeast. But for the benefit of people who don't know the composition of the Northeast, we're talking about Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, and Yobe states. Okay, so hold on to that, and then try and so we're talking about consistency. You understand? So try and marry that with what this poll is telling us. It's telling us in all those core northern spaces, Kwakwanso, who is the poster child of what the northerners, as we know, see as themselves. He got a paltry 2%.
Yes.
Compared to Peter Obi, who got 15%, Tinubu, who got 12%. You can understand Atiku getting 38%, even though that's questionable. But the polls, according to their polls, only 2% of the respondents in the Northeast would vote for Kwakwanso.
Yeah, can I tell you why it is possible? Can I tell you why it is possible?
Go on. I'd like to hear it. Go on.
Yeah, Northeast, they have a lot of Christians.
Right.
Northeast, they have a lot of.
If they have a lot of Christians, then why does Atiku have 38% to Peter Obi's 15%?
No, let me finish. You know, they have a lot of Christians.
Right.
They have what do we call it? They have a certain level of enlightenment compared to Northwest, you know, compared to Northwest, right? Then another thing again is that they have experienced this insecurity very well, you know. Then another thing again is that their person, somebody from their region who has always been contesting for a very long time, is still coming out from that very region.
Right.
You know? So with all these things at play, you know, it is possible that we wouldn't expect the kind of support for APC in the Northeast to be equal to the kind of support APC will be getting from Northwest.
All right, but the inconsistency, Kwakwanso 2%.
Kwakwanso. We have always established here that Kwakwanso has stronghold in Kanu and some few maybe outcasts of Northwest states. We have always concluded here. Kwakwanso's impact is Northeast.
Hold on, Asaki. Who do you think the people of Borno State, who do you think they feel a sense of kinship towards the most? Who do you think they feel a sense of kinship towards the most, Peter Obi or Kwakwanso?
Omar, can you reel out the number again if you don't mind?
It's quite alarming if you hear it. It just tells you I think Enigmatic wants to hear it again. This is I can read you all of the numbers and the totality of it is fallacious, but this is the most fantastical of the fallacy. The result was, however, different in the Northeast. We've already established the composition of the Northeast. The result was, however, different in the Northeast, as PDP's presidential candidate Atiku polled more with 38% respondents choosing him as their preferred candidate, whilst Labour Party, APC, and NNPP had 15%, 12%, and 2% respectively. So Peter Obi got 15%, Tinubu got 12%, Atiku, of course, double all of them combined. He got 32%, but Kwakwanso got 2%.
Kwakwanso 2% in the north?
In the Northeast, in Borno and Yobe. They prefer Peter. I don't know what the percentages are, but that's 15% to 2%. I think that's 12 times, 14 times.
Don't even say it again, one man.
They prefer Kwakwanso. They prefer Peter Obi to Kwakwanso in Yobe. and Borno by a 15 to 2% margin.
Let's flip it. That Kwakwaso in Southeast, right, is 38% and Peter Obi is 6%. How about that?
Say what?
Kwakwaso in Southeast is 36% and Peter Obi is like maybe 10% or 7% in Southeast.
Kwakwaso in Southeast 36%, Peter Obi 10%.
Yes, or 6%.
Of course, I'll be surprised at that result.
You will throw it in the bin. You would
I'll be surprised.
You would throw it in the bin because of what you already know.
Yeah, because this does
see,
one man, you know.
Look at Saki Father dancing balongo. Don't dance balongo now. It's beyond ridiculous.
No. Let me tell you.
Yes.
You know, whenever polls are conducted, I think we have to make objective assessments. Objective assessment we have to make is to ask the questions surrounding that polls. Those are the questions that will lead you to concluding that no, this poll was actually totally biased. It was not conducted in the right way. But we are leaving the right questions we should ask, and we are only complaining about what we expect to see versus what the poll shows.
No, there's a logical inconsistency. There's a logical inconsistency.
No. Northeast. I'm Northeast. There is no time I've not been expecting P2B to get some. If he's gonna get votes in the core north, I don't expect him to get as much as he will get.
Yobe is Abubakar Malami state. Abubakar Malami. So Abubakar Malami prefers
religious
but no belongs to Shetima, but they prefer Peter Obi.
No. The fact is that
religious support.
The fact is that Northeast has Christians very well.
Right.
Not just Christians.
No, but if they but that's still if we look at the data of that still is inconsistent, because if they are saying if they're saying Atiku got 38% and Peter Obi got 15%,
it is the region,
then that nullifies that argument of Christianity.
No. There are two things that will play a role in our elections. We already know that. Religion plays role. Ethnicity also plays role, right? So Atiku is coming from that region, and Atiku has been contesting election for so he's known in that region, and he's coming from that region, and this is the first time.
He's from Adamawa. He's from Adamawa.
Adamawa is it not Northeast?
No, there's no universality to it. Because Shetima is from Borno. Which equal balances then they play there?
No, but the reports didn't give percentage in each state, right? That was
but there are only 6 states now. So if Atiku gets 38% of the polling of the polling, then that nullifies any religious argument. If the next Christian space only got 15. Because if religion was a consideration, Atiku could have still taken it, but not at double plus the margin.
Well, I don't know. I have to. The question I asked is how was the poll conducted? Where was it? How?
They said there was a physical poll. It
was physical. Then what is the sample size? What is the margin of error? What are the kind of questions asked in the poll? How was the questions? How were the questions designed? Were they designed to elicit certain kind of answers we're expecting to see? These are questions we should. It's
one of those obedient polls, abracadabra polls again, isn't it?
We don't know. We
usually tell.
We don't know where the poll is coming from.
Abracadabra poll.
But that is the way we should analyze polls. A result can we might be expecting something. This is what our expectations. This is our a priori expectations. But at the end of the day, we might see a result different from what we're expecting. So it is now left for us to ask questions. What are the methods used? How was it conducted? In what conditions? Did they enter villages? Did Did they enter core villages? What is the demography? They ask the questions. These are the things we should talk about polls, and not to say no, this result is not correct, no, or this result is correct. I don't think it is the right way to judge polls, because the last time you guys brought this poll that was conducted on, is it the one that said that APC is leading? That and went further.
I've never yet seen that, though. There's never been a poll that tells us.
There was one you guys said APC is leading and went further to say that if that happens, there will be a crisis that will emanate from obedience. That it might lead to crisis, something like that. You remember that poll that talked something like that?
Yeah, it was not a poll, it was an intelligence report by economists, their intelligence unit.
No, it was not. I know the one of economics, not that one. There is one.
No, it was an economist